catch the movers and shakers. The brightest minds from across the country talking about what makes them tick. This is Rock the Talk on IndigoMusic.com.
Welcome back to IndigoMusic.com. I'm RJ Melbin and this is Rock the Talk. And once again, a very special guest on the other side. And today I have Harish Bijoor, who is a brand thinker and practitioner operating out of Bengaluru, and he runs a boutique consulting outfit branded Harish Bijoor Consults Inc. And of course, he's a marketing guru. Harish Bijoor, thank you so much for joining me on Rock the Talk.
Thank you, Melvin. My pleasure being here.
All right, and first up, before we get into it, Harish, why don't you tell me how the lockdown has been for you personally and your journey through 2020 so far?
Okay. Firstly, the moment the lockdown was announced, it was quite a bit of a shock. I landed back in Bengaluru on the 17th of April, and I think I had to go back after that. And I had all my tickets booked. I was holding some 22 tickets already ticketed, and in came the shocker, and it grounded us. So quite a bit of clipping of the wings, so to say. And I suddenly realized how it is to get your wings clipped, like many of us did. So
Right.
The lockdown was really quite a bit of trauma when it started, that's for sure.
Okay, but I mean, you have years of experience ensuring that brands sort of cope with situations like this. And so I guess it was no trouble for you personally at all.
Good point. Because, in brands, one of the things that we follow is a business continuity process,
Right.
where we tend to say that, come what may, the business must go on because consumers are out there forever and we need to cater to them. So a lot of learning from there came in. Crisis management of a very unique kind, pandemic time management, which many of us have not been through in our lifetimes,
Right.
came to play.
Mm-hmm. All right. And also, why don't you tell us about your journey and how it started? Marketing and branding. How did your career begin? And when did you decide that this is what you wanted to do?
Okay. In many, many ways, I'm a Bengaluru boy, Bengaluru old boy, for that matter. Essentially, I've lived here, I've studied here, and eventually it so happened that, I was very, very keen to attempt the IAS exam. And
Okay.
I wanted to be a bureaucrat all my life.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing led to another, and in came this opportunity for me to join a company which now belongs to the Unilever Group in India. And I said that that's an opportunity not to refuse. Got in there, entered into sales, moved into brand management, moved from one company called, let's say, Brookbond Lipton India Limited, and then Hindustan Unilever Limited, and then moved into Tata Tea / Tata Coffee Limited, and then finally decided that I must do my own. And that's when I started off this company called Harish Bijoor Consults.
Lovely. Also, in times like these, 2020, with what's happening, a lot of businesses have really lost their wings. Like you mentioned, all their wings have been clipped and they've lost their feet pretty much. So what do you think brands should do to sort of survive this global pandemic? Also, especially the restaurant business, I think they've been hit quite badly. So what do you think businesses need to do?
Yeah, clipped wings is certainly the phrase. One of the biggest clipped wings is that of aviation. But if we were to leave aviation aside, retail businesses of the QSR kind, and so also restaurants of every kind are badly hit. Now, what must we do? I think, now that the lockdown is easing and people are coming out slowly but surely, it's extremely important to try and bring back the old mood of the celebratory economy, as I call it. Because please note that people love to spend in a celebratory economy.
Right.
But what the lockdown did is it pushed us into what I call the fear economy.
Mm-hmm.
And the fear economy is one where you want to save money, you don't want to be seen outdoors, you want to be very, very careful, and you want to save for a rainy day.
Right.
And that mindset is still not gone out. So restaurants, retail outfits have to bring that old mood back. That's phase one. And bringing it back is a process, and it does take time.
All right. And also, if that's true, then I think the only way we will get back is to ensure that we spend more. But is spending more going to be something that's going to be easy, especially because everybody's wallets is sort of a little empty thanks to the pandemic? So,
Well, I have an interesting piece of data out here. I'm driven by data, so every breath I take and every step I take, I love to quote a piece of data. I won't make it boring. It just comes out that, during the lockdown, this is a study which we just finished last month. During the lockdown, we realized that our pay packets are down. Average salaries have been cut by about 27%. And if you really say that people have 27% less money in their pockets. But then I had a thought, if your pay packets have gone down, like mine has it really resulted in a loss to the home in terms of actual money? I don't think so. Because what's really happened is we went and did a research exercise trying to understand how people are spending. And it so happens that expenditures are also down. Guess what? The base number is this. Pay packets, income is down by 27% and expenditures are down by 41%. So the differential between 41 and 27 is extra money at home. So I think that's the money one is looking at during festive time spend, which is a couple of weeks ahead.
all right. I think that's very well said. So I guess it's all a mindset in the end of the day. The numbers are not really that different. So also the festive season, like you mentioned, not too far away. So do you expect a big recovery happening soon enough?
Yes, I think there will be a recovery because, people are cooped up into our homes and everybody is wanting to come out. Everybody is wanting to eat those lovely things we used to eat in some of our lovely restaurants in Bengaluru. So we want to go out there and spend. A lot of people want to say that festival time is the time when people want to spend more, particularly on clothes, on accessories, etc. I think that's going to happen. Three things really are going to govern this. See, I have said we need to bring the celebratory economy mood back.
Right.
One of the things that's going to bring the mood back is IPL 2020, if you ask me. Now, a very bleak thought on this because, IPL 2020 is the first time that a cricket content-starved nation is all of a sudden going to get a lot of cricket content coming at it.
Right.
And IPL is a celebratory theme, if you ask me. All the brands advertising on IPL are bringing celebration out there.
Right.
And therefore, if the market mojo is to be corrected, I think IPL is attempting to do that. The second thing that's attempting to do that is the festive season, because that's when people come out and spend. And the third thing is e-commerce. Because while everything else has suffered, e-commerce has not suffered. Because e-commerce enters into your home. And therefore, I really would wager a bet to say that e-commerce sales, which are coming up over the next week or so, are going to rope in the biggest amounts of monies all of a sudden. And these three things, I think, are going to revive the economic sentiment around in our lives, from the fear economy to the celebratory economy.
All right. And I'm very glad you mentioned IPL 2020, especially this season. I think the matches have been phenomenal. So I think more reason to celebrate as well. Also, before we get into the rapid fire round, why don't you just maybe give one piece of advice that, for aspiring entrepreneurs and people who are facing the heat right now in your words? Yeah.
Okay. My one big piece of advice to everybody is that each one of us must have two jobs. By that, I don't mean moonshine more than one, but I simply means to say we need to have two competencies. Because if one competency is depressed in the market, the other competency takes off. So try to be a Jekyll and Hyde in terms of your competencies. You must have two of them. The second thing is, yes, we have been depressed, but the good thing is that the future looks better than the past that has gone by. So let's look ahead, let's try to fit in to the future that's staring at us.
All right, fantastic. And I think every time there is a big low, the only direction is upwards. And so I think recovery is inevitable. All right, so now it's time for the rapid fire round. Harish, I hope you are ready. Okay.
I didn't expect this. And so it's going to be really rapid fire.
Yes, it's going to be fun. So a few quick questions going to be fired and expecting quick answers. Let's do this. Who's one personality you'd love to have dinner with?
N.R. Narayan Murthy.
Okay, great answer. What's the one advertisement or brand that made you want to get into marketing fully?
The Indian Railways.
Okay. All right. What's one business decision that you'd like to go back and change?
Oh, the decision to say that I don't want to be an IAS officer.
All right. If you could choose one superpower, what would you wish for?
Well, the ability to say that COVID just does not exist, never was, never is, never will be.
And I think, like you mentioned, it's all in the mindset. It'll be good if everybody thinks that way. Well, I guess not completely, because we also have to take precautions, but I think that's a great mindset to have if used well. Okay, the next question. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
Oh, simple place, Goa. I love the fish there. I love the food there. I love the breeze there, and I love the beaches.
Wow, a true blue old Bengaluru boy, for sure. All right. What's the one thing that annoys you the most?
Oh, the attitude of people in Bengaluru to burn dry leaf and garbage and pollute the air that you and I breathe. Believe it or not, we still do it. Some of the biggest establishments, government establishments, army establishments, air force establishments still do it. Why? Why? Annoys me.
All right. And yes, I think we always had beautiful air, and I think that hopefully should not change anytime soon. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, that's a difficult one. 3 words. I eat, sleep, pray.
All right. Eat, sleep, pray. If you weren't a brand builder, what would you be? I think I know the answer to this question, but yeah.
I would be a passionate bureaucrat wanting to work for the needs and wants, desires, and aspirations of the people of India.
All right. Fantastic. And your last question. What's the most interesting thing that you own?
These glasses of mine, which are green rimmed, by the way, people on radio cannot really see it, but green rimmed glasses.
All right. Wonderful. I'll actually just fit in one last question as well. What is brand Harish Bijoor all about?
I think I am about who I am. I represent myself, and I like to think that I'm being truthful about who I am. I think that's my brand. The brand is an integrity statement.
All right. Harish Bijoor, thank you so much for joining me today on Rock the Talk. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Melbin. My pleasure being with you.
Well, that was Harish Bijoor, and this was Rock the Talk. Hope you enjoyed it. And for more such fun conversations, you know what to do. Stay right here, indigomusic.com.